Bonsoir and good evening. Thank you for having joined us and welcome to our traditional evening of the Escalade. For reasons known to all of us, this year's Escalade will be a mixture of traditional celebration and state-of-the-art technology. Let's cross the fingers that technology will not fail us this evening. My name is Salman Bal and I'm the director of the International Geneva Welcome Center, also known as CAGI. My team and I are happy to assist you and your family members in settling and integrating in Geneva. Before we get into this evening's activities, two important housekeeping information. First, don't hesitate to write a message to our email address should you have any questions during the event. The email address is on the screen. A colleague is monitoring the email account and will respond to you. Second, please make sure you have your marmite, the local name of the chocolate cauldron, close by. Ours is ready. I take the opportunity to thank all our members without whose support CAGI wouldn't exist. Many, many thanks to all of them. A big thank also to our volunteers of the Newcomers Network of the Fondation pour Genève, who helps us tremendously in organizing the excursions, lunchtime conferences, and other events throughout the year. For this evening, special thanks go also to Migros, who has kindly provided us the chocolate cauldron that you have with you. Now I have the pleasure to hand over to Ms. Diane Zölli, who has been the president of the Newcomers Network for over 20 years. Diane organized many Escalade evenings, but never any hybrid celebration. I would like to take the opportunity and thank her for all her work over the past 20 years. Merci beaucoup, chère Diane, and the mic is yours.
Thank you, Salman. Dear newcomers, dear friends, it's a pleasure to have you tonight. And I've been a member of here for 20 years, and it's just to tell you that I'm very happy because as of January next year, Genevois lawyer Juliette Van Berchen will be taking over, and I'm sure that the Newcomer Network will continue to shine to welcome you as warmly as they have in the past, and organize very special events, very special outings, and all sorts of things. So let's hope that everything's going to open up very soon. Thank you, Juliette, for accepting. And I'd like to thank all the members of the Newcomer Network, all the volunteers. Some have been with me for 20 years, right from the beginning, 1999. So that's really great. In the name of our group, I want you to know just how happy we are, despite the current worrying times, to be able to organize this event online here at the Geneva Welcome Center. And it is truly wonderful to imagine that we're all together, even though you're in the safety of your home this evening, sitting next to your chocolate cauldrons. We are very honored and glad that the Director General of the United Nations Office of Geneva, Mrs. Tatiana Volanovoya, has a short message for you tonight. Thank you.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, it is a great pleasure for me to address the traditional Fête de l'Escalade. While I was very much looking forward to participating in the celebrations in person again this year, I am deeply grateful to Centre d'accueil de la Genève Internationale for maintaining this annual tradition by bringing us together virtually this evening. Traditions play a fundamental role in societies across the globe. As a factor of stability, they allow us to embrace our roots and strengthen our participation in the society. Traditions also make it possible for newcomers to feel welcome and integrated into their new surroundings. This corresponds precisely to the spirit of tonight's event, which brings together the people of Geneva and representatives of the international community based in the city, including newcomers. I wish to take this opportunity to underline the essential role that CAGI plays to facilitate the integration of new internationals in Geneva and as an efficient interface with civil society. Given the current public health crisis, this support is more needed than ever. On behalf of UN Geneva, I also wish to express my sincere gratitude to the Swiss authorities at all levels and to the city of Geneva for their unwavering support to our work. Sustaining the excellent collaboration with the host authorities is an imperative for International Geneva in order to maintain its position as a key international center for peace and global governance. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, this evening, as we commemorate the escalade, let us celebrate peace and reconciliation, fundamental values both for the United Nations and Geneva. Following the escalade in 1602, the guns were silenced and dialogue led to the conclusion of the Treaty of Saint-Julien on the 21st of July 1603, which established peace between Geneva and Savoie. More than ever, the need to maintain good relations between neighbors should be anchored in people's mind. The COVID-19 pandemic has once again demonstrated the fundamental importance of the cooperation among all the countries and regions. The cross-border cooperation between Switzerland and its neighbors is exemplary in this respect. The celebration of the 75th anniversary of the United Nations this year also provided us the opportunity to bring together the people of Geneva, International Geneva, and many others through various events organized together with the City of Geneva and the Swiss authorities at all levels. This anniversary gives us the opportunity to recommit to the values of solidarity, dialogue, and cooperation enshrined in the United Nations Charter and which the escalade embodies so well. Thank you very much, and I wish you a wonderful evening.
Many thanks to the Director General of the United Nations Office in Geneva for her encouraging words. And now we have the pleasure to listen to the message of the Minister of Finance of the Republican Canton of Geneva, Ms. Nathalie Fontanet, who is also in charge of International Geneva.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, it is my pleasure and privilege to participate to the traditional Fête de l'Escalade organized by the International Geneva Welcome Center. On behalf of the host authorities, I would like to extend a warm welcome to each and every one of you. I would also like to thank the CAGI for maintaining this important event, although in a different format given the circumstances. Of course, I would have preferred to meet you in person and share this special evening together. I look forward to the next year's edition of this event in order to do so. La Fête de l'Escalade, as you probably have heard, is Geneva's most festive and exciting moment of the year. It commemorates the defeat of an attempt to conquer the city by the Catholic Duchy of Savoie back in 1602. The celebration usually includes a parade with traditional costumes, a running race through the old town, children and adults getting dressed up, vin chaud, and precious moment with family and friends. Although many parts of the celebration will not be possible this year, we at least get to keep the best of it, which is obviously the famous chocolate marmite. I understand that all of you are equipped with it, but please wait before eating it. Later in the program, you will have the chance to break it in the traditional Geneva's way. For many reasons now, La Fête de l'Escalade has also become the moment where the host authorities, I mean the federal, cantonal and municipal authorities, get the chance to meet and greet the newcomers to International Geneva as well as their families. It is my honor to do so tonight and to tell you how much we appreciate having you here in Geneva. In line with our tradition and hospitality, federal and local authorities strive to make your establishment as easy and as pleasant as possible. In this regard, I would like to acknowledge the great work done by the CAGI and to thank them for their commitment. International Geneva is a major aspect of our canton's history, heritage and activities. It is also our pride and part of our DNA. As such, we must take care and look after its most valuable assets, namely the people that work in these many organizations. And this is you, ladies and gentlemen. We hope that our various welcome entities, such as CAGI, help you to feel at home. I'm convinced that once you feel at home, you will better focus on what is important for you or organization to make the world a better place for all. This year has been a very particular year in Geneva, as well as anywhere else in the world. It is not the easiest time to settle in a new place and to get to discover the local life. I really hope that despite the challenges we are all facing, you enjoy being here and that you will soon be able to make the best of our beautiful city and region. Thank you for your attention. And belle fête de l'escalade à toutes et tous.
Many thanks to Minister Fontanet for her kind message. And now we will have the pleasure to listen to Louise, Juliette, Stephen, and Dinara, 4 members of the Newcomers Network, who will explain us all about the Escalade. Stephen, Louise, Juliette, Dinara, what did happen in the night of the 11th to 12th December 418 years ago in the year 1602?
On December 11th, 1602, the darkest night of the year, the Duke Charles-Emmanuel of Savoy decides to launch an attack on Geneva, an independent and prosperous republic in the middle of Europe and birthplace of the Reformed religion under the leadership of Calvin. The Duke's goal is to take back the city, make it his capital, and reintroduce the Catholic faith. He's also convinced that his troops will come back with the famous gold held in the Geneva vaults. That night, a cold wind is blowing. The enemies march silently towards Geneva, carrying big and heavy ladders, trying to stay as quiet as possible. You have to remember that at that time, the city was surrounded by huge walls, which you can still see parts of today from the Place Neuve.
Having crossed the Arve River Bridge, the soldiers gather at 2 o'clock in the morning at Plain Palais, just in front of the walls of Geneva. They are ready to climb the walls and surprise the Genevans during their sleep. Fortunately, a Geneva patrol officer hears some noise and finds himself nose to nose with the Savoyards, who are already climbing the ladders. Isaac Mercier, a brave Genevan, cuts the rope holding the harrow of the Porte Neuve entrance, which crashes down, preventing the enemy to invade the city. The tocsin of the St. Peter Cathedral, which we hope you have already seen, starts ringing loudly to warn the folks. The citizens, now awakened, grab their weapons and rush outdoors still in their pyjamas to repel the assailants. The battle rages between the Savoyards and the Genevans, who fight with the energy and the courage of despair. A good number of newcomers to Geneva were also amongst the fighters. While the battle takes place close to the Porte Neuve, everything is calm and peaceful near the river Rhône.
Mother Royaume who lives above the Porte de la Monnaie, is preparing in a large cooking pot a tasty vegetable soup that will be eaten at dawn. The noise of her stirring the soup and that of the torrential river Rhône covers the battle noises and the sound of the cathedral's tocsin. Suddenly, she hears shouting and runs to a window. With a lantern, she sees a man, all dressed in black, who carefully advances very slowly and silently on the street below. Mother Rayom runs into the kitchen to fetch the heavy cooking pot. She throws on his head the pot full of boiling soup. The man falls down, yelling of pain, and agonizes. Dame Piaget, another memorable figure of the escalade, pushes a heavy wardrobe behind her door to barricade herself from the Savoyards. The story tells that the strength of several men was needed the next day to put it back in its place.
Downtown, the brave Genevois are still fighting the enemy with a fierce will to win. A lucky cannon shot hits the ladders. They crumble, taking down with them every enemy soldier. Eventually, the Genevois repel the enemy out of the city. On the morning of December the 12th, the battle is over. Geneva and its inhabitants are finally safe. Filled with great happiness, the Genevois celebrate the victory and walk on the ramparts of the city, where a scaffold is raised and where the prisoners will be hanged. The legend tells that Théodore de Bèze, a very deaf 83-year-old disciple of Calvin, slept peacefully during the whole battle and became aware of what had happened only when he saw the executioner hang the prisoners and traitors the next morning. Since that day, we Genevois celebrate religiously this event, which ensured the independence of our city by dressing up in costumes and breaking up a chocolate cordon. So, Stephen, what Escalade means to you today?
For me, the escalade is all about reuniting the family all together across generation, just sharing kind memories around a warm bowl of soup and a spicy glass of glue wine. And what about you, Louise?
For me, it's the run through the old town. The atmosphere is great, but very often the weather is really cold. And you, Dinara?
For me, Escalade is all about the parade of 1602 company that goes across the town and ends its march at the front place of St. Peter's Cathedral in front of a big picolet. What about you, Jules?
Well, for me, it's all about the children who dress up to go to school on that day. They choose their favorite costume and can go to school in them. And it really makes me love this time of year. Well, enough said. We are super excited for you all to discover all the wonderful events that happen in Geneva around this time of year. But now we would like to sing with you our traditional victory song, the Sekeleno. But just before, we would like to thank Gabrielle Lodizinski very much for allowing us to use the beautiful drawings of her grandfather that you saw during the presentation. So now let's all sing together our victory song. Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you have all been waiting for, the breaking of the chocolate cauldron. Now, I hope you all went and picked up your cauldron at Migros and that it is standing next to you, ready to be broke. For us, it will be Diane and Dinara, the eldest and the youngest, you have to do the same in your family, that will break the chocolate cauldron. Don't forget, before smashing it, to turn around to flip the top of the cauldron, otherwise you will hurt your hand. The sentence you have to say before smashing the cauldron is Ainsi périssent les ennemis de la République, which means this is how the enemies of the Republic perish. And now for us, Dinara and Diane, the floor is yours.
Ainsi périssent les ennemis de la République. Such a pity, but there we are. Wow. Let's hope that next year we'll all be able to meet again and you'll be able to experience the Escalade in the Old Town at the CAGI, and because it's normally it's a very exceptional party that we have event with the Compagnie 1602, the decor, you have a fondue, and the atmosphere is very, very special. Music, fifers and drums. It's truly wonderful. I really hope so. I'd like to take this occasion to thank the CAGI staff, and especially the director, Salman Bal, because without his creativity and help, we would have just cancelled and done nothing. So at least we did what we could. Also, Evelyn and Michael and all Sky Night, which are here for the technical part of the song. Afterwards, you'll see photographs which have been done by Luc Buscarlet, who's been working with us for years. He does photos. He goes to the Old Town on the day of the Escalade, so you have lots and lots of photos. You can see the atmosphere. For those of you that are really new, it's quite fantastic. And we're really sad that it can't come on this year, but let's hope. I'd like to thank the Migros, of course, for your little chocolate pots. I hope you managed to break them. And you'll be hearing also the song of the Escalade with the music. Thank you, have a good evening, and let's hope we meet again next year. Bye-bye.